Happy and healthy altitudes to you. Hello, I'm Gary Gianetti, and I'm coming to you from Healthy Altitudes, Colorado.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Matt Morano. I'm coming to you from sunny North Carolina and your peak mind.
And today, Dr. Matt and I wanted to talk a little bit about comfort zones. I know right now with COVID-19 going around, everybody's working outside their comfort zones, either online or in the fitness world. They can't go to the gym and get on the machines they always use. So they have to get out of their comfort zone and go run outside or find workouts online. And it really got me starting to think about comfort zones. So how do you operate effectively outside of your comfort zone when you're forced to get there? So in other words, we've got somebody, they've been forced out of their comfort zone of their daily routine, and they still need to be successful. How do they find a mental headspace to stay positive and successful while operating out of that comfort zone? Any ideas and thoughts on that, Dr. Matt?
Oh, definitely. A lot of the clients that I talk to these days, that's even if they're not using the word comfort zone, they're talking about a change in their lives and their normal activities and things like that. And when they can't engage in those things anymore, that is pushing them outside of their comfort zone. So we do talk about it quite a bit, as you can imagine. And the whole point that I remind everyone, it's almost the very first thing I say to everybody that I do virtually, is reminding them that what we're going through right now is actually temporary. But even if it's temporary, it doesn't mean that we can't learn new things and we can't take some lessons out of what we're experiencing. And I also remind them of that. The idea that it's temporary, so they are able to will hopefully be able to go back to whatever that comfort zone is, but also to remember the lessons of what we're getting out of that as we step outside of that comfort zone. To help them be comfortable in their comfort zone, one of the first things I ask them to do is become aware of their own bodies. The idea of mindfulness and where do I stand? How am I feeling about this right now? Because if you can identify those feelings of, sometimes helplessness, sometimes hopelessness, sometimes a little bit of sad, sometimes even a loss of identity, all those sorts of things can happen as a result of not just COVID, but just life changes. It pushes us outside of our comfort zone. So you want to be able to identify some of those feelings that you're experiencing so that you can actually get yourself out of those as well, because it isn't a usual consistent feeling to feel down. If you're consistently feeling down, you probably should be coming to talk to somebody like me. Humans normally are not depressed animals. They typically are not that way. So if they're feeling that way, chances are something's going on and they're not in their comfort zone even as it is. So what do you do with that information? How do you get yourself sort of, as you said, in the headspace of being able to exist within that discomfort zone, if you will? And so what I would say is, first of all, start with the mindfulness aspect. Get a feeling for yourself. See how you are. Notice what your feelings are. If there's a pain in your body, if there's certain stress in your body, if there's certain tension in your muscles, that sort of thing. The second thing then is actually quiet your mind a little bit. Actually talk to pieces of your body to the point where you're saying to yourself, all right, shoulders, I know that you're really, really stressed and tense right now. It'd be good if I can just relax. Maybe you'd like to relax for me, that sort of thing. And actually have a moment to yourself where you can do that. The next thing is to remind yourself that whatever you're going through is legitimately going to be temporary. We're not going to be living in the age of COVID forever now. We might have some implications and consequences, but everything being closed right now is not going to be the way it is. Our world, our country can't act like that forever. So eventually things are going to unlock from lockdown. Yeah. So remembering those things, being mindful, remembering that we're just temporary, and then remembering that we are capable of handling anything that's been thrown at us. And if we can't handle it by ourselves, we know enough to reach out for a hand. And that could be to a good friend. It could mean to a guy like Gary. It could be a guy like me. It could be a relative. But being able to reach out and just saying, you know what, today I'm having a little bit of a hard time. Can we connect even if it's online or by the phone? Those three things are things that you can do for yourself to help you remain and cope very well with being out of your comfort zone. So
I think those are great points. And I think like being able to talk about things is really important. As a personal trainer, health coach, I often have clients who will divulge information to me in workouts. I keep it all confidential, but I hear things about lifestyle or stress or divorce or job changes. I hear about these things, and some of it is counseling as well. And just being able to talk through those changes makes people feel more comfortable. And I think that that's something that we all need to think about, is how you can talk through those things to make yourself mentally feel comfortable in an uncomfortable space. Getting out of your comfort zone isn't always a bad thing either, because now look, I mean, some people who have gotten pushed out of their comfort zone. I know there's a personal trainer who I've been trying to mention going online with her workouts for years now, and her husband has as well. This pushed her out of her comfort zone, and now she's seen exponential growth with her business because she's gotten out of her comfort zone. And it's really great. Now the question is, when all of the COVID-19 things happen, is she going to go back to her lazy boy couch and comfort zone? Is she going to go back to doing business the way she did, or is she going to keep rolling forward out of her comfort zone? And that's something that I always try to think about when I'm with clients. And when I mention exercise, exercise isn't always comfortable. You know, we have to get a little uncomfortable with exercise to get to the comfortable goal of feeling good. And you know, for some folks, if they want to either lose weight or run a marathon, it's uncomfortable to train to those levels, but you have to work within that level to be able to get comfortable at that higher level of discomfort. Getting comfortable with uncomfortable. So one of the things I use with clients sometimes is this rating of perceived exertion. And this is that positive visualization of temporary. So, you know, if you start up here, and I'll put this on our video as an image so you can read it and see it, but it's a pretty common tool. You start up here and you're in this comfort zone, just light, easy exercise. You work all the way through this to the uncomfortable zone and the harder effort. So you can visualize these colors changing. Your face gets more red as you sweat more, right? But knowing that after you work through this uncomfortable discomfort to work hard at the end of exercise, you can come back to here. But all along, you've had this comfortable space up here, uncomfortable down here. You've worked through this whole thing to get uncomfortable, right? And then you'll come back to comfortable. Through this whole process, you have been getting experiences in your body, in your head, knowing how hard you can push yourself to get just a little bit further down the scale and get better colors. So, you know, kind of working through the comfort zones, right? Knowing that you can get back to your kind of discomfort, okay? And getting back to not the discomfort, the comfort up here, working to your discomfort, and then back up to your comfort. And you can use this as a strengthening exercise, working down and up like a bicep curl, right? So you're training your brain to work through these zones, uncomfortable, back to comfortable, uncomfortable, back to comfortable. So when something like COVID-19 comes at you and hits you as a surprise, you then have this strengthening system where you can actually now respond better and be a little less stressed than someone who hasn't been strength training that system. So there's my little physical analogy of how to work through the comfort zones as an exercise. Little different, less clinical, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to pretend to be clinical. I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor on TV. That's why we love having Dr. Matt. So thank you, Dr. Matt. Really appreciate the points. What else do we want to mention? Anything else about comfort zones?
I think that human nature is to want to go be in that comfort zone, because not being comfortable is not what we like to do. So just recognizing that and recognizing that you're outside of your comfort zone, I think is a really big deal. I want to throw one little thing at you too, which I don't normally talk about. I let Gary do it, but it is physiologically and biochemically impossible to be depressed while you're exercising. So if you are feeling badly for whatever the reason, whether it be the COVID thing or just life throwing things at you, one of the things that can help you not be depressed or not be sad, literally, is just getting your body moving, because you cannot physically be depressed while your body is operating in activity. So
great science, good fun fact, good science fact, and I love that stuff. Thanks, Dr. Matt.
And thank you all for watching us today too. It's good to have you here. Hope you're going to be well today, and I look forward to talking with you again.